Hello, and welcome to Studio Nicole. I am Nicole, and I am so glad that you're here today. I want to take some time to dive into my Amsterdam travel journal. I recorded a before video before the trip and went over how I made the journal and kind of flipped through it. It's pretty empty. It's just kind of waiting to be filled with all of my travel memories and ephemera. And in the video, I was very optimistic that I would take this little journal kit with me and spend some time every evening in my hotel, writing things down and adding in receipts and paper that I picked up and what have you. I did not do any of that. Our itinerary was so packed. We were just going, going, going all day, every day. And by the time I got back to my hotel, it was usually, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and I was exhausted and I don't I didn't have like an ounce of creativity left at that point. So I am going to dive in now. And I thought we could do this in real time. And I'm just gonna do maybe a day or two at a time and record a real time video going through and popping in some of the photos that I took and some of the paper ephemera that I picked up. Um, so what I have is the journal itself. I have the photos that I took. These are all from days 1 and 2, the travel day and the day that we arrived. Some of the photos do have the faces blocked out with post-it notes just because I was traveling with a large group. I was the support instructor on a study abroad trip. So we had 16 students and another instructor along. I also have these cards with QR codes on them. Um, and each QR code links to a 360-degree photo that I took while we were traveling. I took quite a few of them. And since I can't put the 360-degree photos in the journal, I thought this was a nice way to include them. So I just created these little cards um, with like a screenshot from the video and a QR code that links to it. So I'm going to include those where they're appropriate. I do have my journal um, little book that I had packed with all of my stuff that I wanted to um, use to, to add journaling and stickers and what have you. And as I said, I have the paper ephemera that I picked up. I am notorious for picking up every little scrap of paper that I can get my hands on to journal with. And so I have a bag like this for every day of the trip. Um, everywhere that we went, everywhere that we went, they gave us these beautiful little gift bags. Like every time I bought something, it came in these gorgeous bags. And so I have sorted all of my paper ephemera by day. So I have one bag for each day of the trip. And this is days 1 and 2. Everything that I have is all included here. So I'm just gonna dive in. This is our brochure about the trip, and it opens up with some more details. And there's some journal prompts that we gave the students. I also have some things here in the. Oh, I did tuck this in. This was from the airplane. This is a pack of sour cream and chai pretzels from the airplane. So I'll leave that in here. I also have a sticker from the dessert on the plane. Really, the food was about the only thing about the plane that was worth mentioning, right? Because otherwise, it's just a plane ride, a really long plane ride. Although not as long as some, I realize. Um, okay, so I'm gonna just pour out all of this paper ephemera. Give myself a little bit of room here. All right, so the first day was the flight and the boarding information. And so I printed out our itinerary from each day onto a little, well, some of them are pretty big, and cut them out. So I want to include these. Um, It's kind of too long to go this way, so it needs to go this way, but I don't want to cover up. This is sort of before the trip. So these are some things that we did in the classroom prior to. Got Let's Go. That's a nice like starting point, right? So maybe I will put this. I don't have staples in that one. I'm gonna clip this one here like that. And I'll just glue this right down alongside it. It has all the information about our first day, our trip itinerary. Right. Um, I know that I'm going to struggle a little bit with talking while I do this, so hopefully I'll get better at that as I go. I don't want to have to do a ton of editing. I know that if I have to do a lot of editing afterwards, then it's going to be less fun for me to do this at all, and I am not going to make it very far into the process. So I am going to try and do these in real time. And I know that's not perfect or ideal. Have that. Um, Airline tickets. I'm gonna just tuck those in right here, along with this information about the packaging. I've also got, what else do I have? Nothing. Oh, I don't know. Do we need any of this? This is kind of cool. This is Amsterdam to Dublin. I'm gonna just cut some of this. I don't need all of that because it's not really particularly helpful. I'm gonna cut and I'm going to attach this on the other side. I'm gonna staple it because it's kind of heavy. Just gonna staple it here. And I'll do a little bit of journaling here about the plane ride itself. I do have some photos from, let's see. I do have some photos from the plane ride. So I'll include those. That was our map. This is the meal. And that's a picture of me on the plane. Yeah. Maybe I'll put this here and just do some journaling next to it. I like the blue on the blue there. And then these pictures can go right here. We do have I'm trying out printing these. I should have put that on the paper. Use this scrap paper down. I'm trying out printing these on photo paper from my Epson printer and just printing them myself. They're not the greatest quality pictures ever, and that's okay. I probably will get actual prints of these photos or many of these photos from this trip printed. I also might do a photo book through Shutterfly, and of course I have the digital copies. So I have tons and tons of ways to store the photos. I don't necessarily need the ones in this journal to be the best quality photos ever. So I'm okay. Um, there are a couple I was glancing through them. There are a couple that I might reprint because I know the coloring looks weird on this, but that's because we were under this weird blue lighting in the airplane. It was an overnight flight, and this is all we had was this strange blue like LED light. So definitely capturing the vibe of the trip here with this coloring. All right. I I also have this photo. This is a group photo of all of us at the terminal when we were taking off. And I really would like to put that in sideways. Just maybe I'll put it on the back of this card and then it can slide right in there. Actually, that's a great idea. That might be what I do. So just make sure I'm having it right way up. If it would be my luck, I'd have it on here upside down. Yeah, I have an Epson Eco Tank printer, and in order to print these photos, I actually had to buy more ink because I was running out of black. And I started calculating to think about like when did I actually get the printer and how long has this ink lasted? And it's been 18 months since I bought the printer, and I just now bought ink for it for the very first time. And the black ink bottle just cost $15. And I still have plenty of all my other colored ink. And I print for journaling all the time. So if you're ever not sure about whether or not you want to try out the Epson Eco Tank printer, I can definitely vouch that certainly the ink lasts a very long time. Um, this one I'm going to actually move. This is about the model of the Dutch East India Company ship. And it was one of the journal prompts that we did in the class prior to traveling with students. And so this ship is actually on display at the Rijksmuseum, which was much later in the trip. I think we went on like the maybe Wednesday or Thursday of the trip. So I'm just bumping it later in the book. I'll deal with it later, but I don't want to put it right here at the first day. The first day we arrived, let's see, sort through my photos and kind of see what's next. Oh, I have this. I wonder if I can just move this to another page. I thought that this would be fun to kind of decoupage on because it's got like enjoy your meal in so many different languages. And I was gonna put this with the airline food. Well, I would just decoupage it on. Now, normally I would use wet glue to do this. I'm being very risky. Trying to do this with a glue stick, but see, that's what happens. Hold on. Let's see if I can switch this. I just don't want to have to do a bunch of drying before I move on to other pages in this book. And I have a tendency, we have a lot of humidity where we are. And so things like Mod Podge and matte medium have a tendency to get really like sticky over time. And then the pages stick together and it's just kind of a mess. So I know that's not perfect. The meal is a little wonky there, but that's okay. That's all right. Nothing I do is perfect. So why would this be any different? It definitely has I've got the vibe that I wanted on the page. It's all there. It's all happening, right? So the first day we stayed at the Manor, Amsterdam, and I absolutely love this. The colors of this awning and the brick work really match the colors on the side. I think I'm going to put it here and pull this color across the page. Obviously, these post-it notes will come off eventually. Um, I'm not sure on the timing of these real-time videos, like what is an appropriate length. I feel like I could spend hours doing this. but I will be interrupted before that can happen. Um, my studio is in the dining room, and so there's a big open arch right in front of me that leads into the living room where the TV is. And then there's an open archway to my right that goes directly into the kitchen, where all the kitchen things happen. And so I really can only record when no one is home. If there is anyone at all in the house, then there's just too much noise and I'm not able to record at all. So, right at the moment, my husband is taking his mom to a doctor's appointment, and that's about the amount of time that I've got. So, I'm going to just keep on gluing until I can't glue anymore, and then we'll call it. I am going to put some pictures of the hotel room on this side. Tend to misplace everything. I set it down and then I have absolutely no recollection of where I put anything. So I'm sorry if I'm constantly looking for my glue. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. We'll end up with a messy desk and then we can't find anything. It might be right in front of us and we just can't see it. I know that certainly happens for me. This hotel was absolutely beautiful. It was gorgeous and we loved it. I will say, though, that all of the students were very confused when we first got there because you had to put your room key into a little card reader in the room in order to turn the lights on. So no one could get any of the lights to turn on. And the WhatsApp chat group was going crazy with all the students trying to figure that out. So we did all eventually figure it out. We all managed to get our lights on at the beginning. But it was a kind of our first inkling that things are not as they usually are. We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Uh, so it was fun though. It was a really great trip. The students had a great time. I had a great time. I think that we learned a lot. And that's what we really want when we travel, right? Is we want to learn about other cultures and how they do things differently, and we love that. All right, I am just digging through. I'm gonna just tip the camera to the left just a little bit so you can see this giant mess I'm making on my desk over here as I sort through all of the paper, ephemera, and things that I want to include because I will, of course, get out of order. And for example, this is the little luggage tag, and I was going to clip it onto something and I didn't. Now I need to go back and find a place for it. Maybe I'll just paste it right here. I don't need the whole thing. Just going to, I don't know if the glue will stick because this is like a weird plastic material, but we're going to give it a try. I'm just going to stick this up here. The color works really well with these dark blues on this page anyway. So there is that. And I pick up the weirdest stuff. Does anybody else do this? I can't be the only one, right? Um, I thought that the fork and knife and spoon made out of, it's almost like balsa wood. I mean, I guess it's not quite that lightweight, but that's, what it reminds me of. Um, I'm assuming it's compostable, although I don't know if they actually compost it. But I thought it was cool. Anyway, I am easily amused, apparently. um, so I might tuck this in here. Hmm, I really should have glued it right onto this page and then I could just tuck the stuff in there. But I've already glued my other stuff down, so that's not going to work. So, yeah, I'm just going to tuck it into the pocket. Actually, I'm going to tuck it into this pocket because it'll be lower on the page there, less. All right. I'll do some journaling about the hotel. We loved it. It was great. I do have something from the hotel, my little key card. Hmm, How well is this glued down? All right, we're going to deconstruct just a little bit. I'm taking this off. I glued this down, but I'm going to glue this in its place because this will also work. If I wanted to tuck something in here, I could do that. So I'm just going to glue this right over. I do like the other side of it, though. Can't have everything. How far am I going to get? Am I going to get all the way through the first couple of days before someone comes home to interrupt me and I have to stop filming? Who's taking bets? This is absolutely true. I almost had no time to sleep. This trip was so busy. Um, I love this. I don't want to use it somewhere, but maybe just not right here. Maybe I'll just cut this out. Just gonna cut this out and maybe I'll glue it down here. I'm gonna grab some washi tape for now and decide later whether I want to glue this here or put it somewhere else. I bought this washi tape at the Van Gogh Museum and it has like reproductions of some of his art and it's beautiful. I love it. So if I was being chronologically accurate, I would save this washi tape for later in the book when we go to the Van Gogh Museum, but that's not until the very last page. So I don't want to save all of this beautiful washi and not use it. So I'm going to just use it where I want to. So speaking of using it where I want to, I think I'm going to pull in some of this yellow cross as well, and I'm going to do 2 layers of washi. Just a little strap. Those colors there. Okay. I'll write in, I'll do some journaling, like I said here, about the hotel. It was a big, giant room, like almost 2-story ceilings. It was just massive. It was so nice. Especially coming back after such long days, having a place that I could just crash. I didn't have to share a room with the other instructor, obviously not with any of the students. So that was really, I really appreciated that. So, okay, we are in Amsterdam. We have arrived. What do we have here? What photos do I have left from this first day? We left the hotel and took a walk through Ooster Park. Um, I've got my ticket here. Maybe this one put in there. This was from our dinner. All right, I'm just gonna glue this across both of these. Yeah, here it was raining, so we all were trooping down the street with our umbrellas. We headed through the park, and our guide gave us a little bit of background about some of what we were seeing, and it was kind of our first foray out into the city. We did go to dinner afterwards at the Lulu Pizza Bar, and so I have this logo. Um, Maybe if I cut it out 3 quarters, it'll fit. Um, yeah, we had been traveling, it just seemed like forever, and we were so tired, and the time difference did not help at all. So by the time we got to the welcome dinner here at the pizza place, we were just exhausted. It was pouring down rain. Um, you know, we were just kind of done for the day. I would have liked to enjoy this dinner a little bit more. We could barely keep our eyes open. I think some of the students were actually falling asleep at their tables while we waited for our food. The food was great. I had a calzone and it was massive. I have a picture of it here. I took pictures of all the food that I ate. So that looks really nice. I like that. All right, so pulling that down. Oh, I'm sorry about that. All right, so little pizza bar. Probably not very straight on the page, is it? Oh, it's not too bad. Better here. I do have a picture of my calzone. It was massive. It was so big. Um, I only ate about half of it, and I took the rest of it back to the hotel. And, with the time difference and jet lag, we definitely had some trouble with our sleep schedule. So I was up at 1:30 in the morning, and I definitely could have eaten the other half of the calzone at that point. But we did have fridges in the hotel rooms, but no microwave, and I was not up for cold calzone. So alas, I didn't really get to enjoy the rest of that calzone, but I did enjoy the first half of it. We also have pictures of the students. We had two students. Where did it go? Oh gosh. There it is. It's underneath. We had two students who had birthdays on the trip. Like while we were traveling, they were celebrating birthdays. So for the welcome dinner this first night, we asked the tour company that we were working with to help us get a cake, and so we celebrated while everyone was half asleep, and after we were done enjoying our pizza. We definitely had some interesting pizza orders. I remember one of the students ordered it was like salmon and raspberry or something. It was an interesting pizza order. It was on the menu, and he said it was good, so I guess that's what matters. But yes, we all had pizza. We fell asleep at the table. We had students with we had a birthday cake for students, and we celebrated. The real craziness of the first night came on our way back when we tried to get on a tram. Um, I think the fact that it was raining and the fact that we were all like brain dead with exhaustion definitely did not help. The guide had told us that we could enter the tram on any of the doors where, like if the door opened, that we could enter. You know, theoretically, if it opened, that meant that we could enter. But did not take into account the fact that people would be exiting the tram. And so the doors would open to let people exit. And so we were definitely trying to enter the tram the wrong door. We couldn't get the key cards to work. We had these transport cards and they weren't quite working. And we had to be rescued by some kind Dutch tram travelers. So they helped us and made sure that we figured out the system and how it worked. It was a little bit hectic. Like I said, there was such a huge group of us. There was a ton of people. We were all trying to get back to our hotel. We really were not at our best with the rain and the jet lag and having never ridden the tram in Amsterdam before. So it was definitely an adventure. Um, the good news is that by the next day, we were all experts. Day two, we rode the tram everywhere, and we knew exactly what we were doing by the end of the day. So it was a learning curve for sure, and we survived. And by the end of the trip, um, we were definitely experts. I'm trying to find a paper clip. I think I had some in my bag, but I can't seem to find them because you can never find what you need when you need it. So I'm just going to use a little bit of washi tape to stick this in for now, and I will come back later and clip it in with a paper clip as soon as I find them. I want to be able to sort of. All right, so we are up to my first little clear um, I cut these out of another album, so they're just clear, like they've got four spots for you to slide photos in. I'm actually going to use this to put in. I want you to put that in there instead of using a little bit of washi tape that's probably going to fall apart. I should just tuck this in here. Perfect. I also have a few euros left, and until next time, they can live right in here as souvenirs from the trip. Oh, those are definitely going to fall out. So I'm going to use some clear tape and tape the top of this pocket closed, just so I don't lose all those coins. I didn't take a whole lot of cash with me, but I feel like I came back with I didn't have really enough. There was maybe $7 or $8, maybe 10 with all the change that I had combined. Um, that's all I had left of the cash that I took with me. So I feel like I did a pretty good job of like managing um the cash. Okay, so what else do I have in my day one? Okay, this was our day one itinerary. This is the day that we went to Oyster Park, um, dinner at Lulu Pizza Bar, return to our accommodations. So I'm gonna clip this in here since this is the Oyster Park trip. This is where it started. I'm gonna fold it under. And I'm going to use some of this washi tape. So and I also have a stamp that I'm going to use to mark the fact that this was basically day one of our trip. I'll probably put that down here and I'll do a little bit of journaling. And I think that about wraps up day one. I have this photo. I have a playing card with Amsterdam on it. I do have an Ireland postcard that I picked up at the airport in Dublin, but I don't think I'm going to include that in this journal. Um, so I've used all my pictures for day one, and I only have a few things left. So maybe no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this in here. Tuck spots for journaling. I also have some receipts once I sort out what goes where. Um, maybe I will put those receipts in the envelopes as well. No, that's too wide. It doesn't fit in there. I tried. Okay. So I'm just gonna put it in here for now. It's okay. Just flipping back and forth through, trying to figure out what I want to do with this. Maybe I want to put it somewhere else entirely. I'm not worried about it. Well, I could put it up here. I'll do that. And I will use more of this tape. I'm gonna glue this one since I think this is where it's gonna live permanently. I'm gonna put some glue on this washi tape. Oh, that was a lot of glue. Maybe I don't need one glue on it. I picked up two packs of these playing cards. One for me to use and swap with people because I love to do swaps and lots of people like to swap playing cards. And then one, that I could just keep and have like a full intact deck. And I was excited about it because this is what the box looks like. It's metallic gold, and it says the classics. And so I kind of thought that each one of the cards, the face of the card would have like different elements of Dutch culture or history. And instead, the face cards are just standard face cards, and the backs are all the same, and none of them have any of the gold highlighting. So they're still great cards, and I'll still spot them and use them in journals and whatnot, but they aren't what I was hoping. They were all sealed in plastic, so I couldn't. There weren't any like sample decks, and you know, you get what you get. I'm pretty happy with the overall. All right. So day one and day two are just about finished. I know that this is going to get very chunky, and I'm probably going to have to um, rebind it with a wider spine. I had to do that for another journal recently, so I'm certainly not new to the process. I am going to gather all of my day, I guess this is day one and two. I'm going to start on day three, gather all of my day three photos, gather all my day three paper ephemera, and we'll be back in another video another day. Thanks for joining me here in the studio, folks. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about my trip to Amsterdam. I hope to see you in the next video.